Tonight, amping up nuclear energy.
Today, we are very proud to take the next official step forward on the Bruce C project.
Major expansion planned for Bruce Power, but not everyone is on board. Plus, fearing for his life, the officer believed a person he mistook for a suspect was trying to kill him before his partner fired a fatal shot. And Toronto trash in St. Thomas. The future of the Green Lane landfill and potential expansion.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a major partnership announcement between the provincial government and Bruce Power. It's a cost-sharing agreement aimed at turning the facility into the largest of its kind in the world. However, as Scott Miller reports, there are still some hurdles to clear before that can become a reality.
Ontario is going all in on nuclear power, signing a $300 million cost-sharing agreement to push along planning for the construction of 4 more reactors at the Bruce Power nuclear station near Kincardine.
Today, we are very proud to take the next official step forward on the Bruce C project, a project that represents 18,900 jobs, a project that will create over 6,000 permanent jobs, a project that will add $230 billion to Canada's national economy over the next 80 years.
More than 2 years ago, Bruce Power officially started the process to add to their 8-reactor fleet, proposing the construction of Bruce C, Ontario's first large-scale nuclear build in more than 3 decades. While the proposed project still requires federal approvals that likely won't come until at least 2028, Ontario is putting all their weight behind the new nuclear build, willing to share in $300 million worth of pre-development work. Things like site planning, community consultation, technology selection, and cooling water strategies to get the project approved as soon as possible.
The long-term energy plan has estimated almost 3 more Bruce Power sites will be required between now and mid-century in the 2050s. And we believe the Bruce site is an ideal site for new nuclear.
4,800 megawatts. To convert that, that's power for almost 5 million homes. And we need the power.
Part of the $300 million pre-development funding will be used by the towns and municipalities surrounding Bruce Power to assess the impact of the addition of more nuclear reactors, and accompanying thousands of jobs will have on the region, known as the Clean Energy Frontier.
That will help all the local governments to assess infrastructure, housing, hospitals, services, workforce needs when we are bringing this type of large project in the area.
While a recent poll found that 91% of Huron, Bruce, and Grey County residents believe the construction of Bruce C would be good for their communities, members of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation are not yet on board. Canada, Ontario, and Bruce Power have not committed to respecting Soan's right to free, prior, and informed consent. This is a serious concern. Soan leadership is working to hold Bruce Power accountable for this standard before the project moves forward.
So a central part of this work is ongoing engagement with the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation.
In Bruce County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A local resident is calling for safety improvements at a southeast London intersection. He says they're necessary because serious crashes are happening too often. With more on those concerns as city staff consider the Highbury corridor's future, here's Lauren Stallone.
Imagine you're in a little car trying to look left.
Alan Tipping lives just down the road from the Highbury Avenue and Dingman Drive intersection in southeast London.
This intersection is crazy and it's just got worse.
For Tipping and other residents nearby, the sound of accidents has become all too familiar.
I heard a bang and then I heard all the fire trucks and sirens and stuff like that. So I drove down here to see what it was, met my neighbor down here, and there was a transport on the side and a white car that had been hit.
Now this scene behind me looked a lot different yesterday when 2 people had to be removed from their vehicle following a crash involving a tractor trailer.
Luckily, I saw nobody had died, but that's got to be one of the first accidents. Nobody's died here.
Now Tipping is raising concerns about the safety of the intersection.
The vehicles are coming down Highbury over 80, way over 80 kilometers an hour. And you can't see coming out on Dingman, and they're just getting hit.
He says he'd like to see the City of London step in.
There needs to be street lights here, and Highbury Ave has to be slowed down to 60 in this area. That way everybody will do 80. Right now it's 80 and everybody's doing 100.
This comes a little over a month since the city signaled sudden progress in local efforts to transfer the expressway portion of Highbury Avenue to the province of Ontario.
This is a critical economic corridor between the southern end of our city and the really important transformational investments at Yarmouth Yards and in the St. Thomas and Elgin area.
Mayor Josh Morgan says the process is progressing at its expected pace.
I'm optimistic that it's going to happen.
However, if the plan does not come to fruition, Morgan says the city would consider making safety improvements to the intersection following proper assessment.
It includes traffic volumes. It includes the history of accidents or collisions and the severity of it, that site. It includes any sort of pedestrian movements.
I've warned the city about this corner, and they've just brushed me off about it. They say it's not that important. I talked to the city about the speed here, and they said, oh, they follow all the municipal laws. Municipal laws don't matter when people are being killed.
Tipping says he hopes somber memorials along the side of the road remind drivers to slow down and drive safe.
They think it's never going to happen to them. And that transport truck driver carrying full load of gravel, like he was probably thinking the same thing too. And he ended up on his side and a car all smashed up.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Good evening. We are live on location tonight at Oxford Dodge for Handbags for Hospice in support of St. Joseph's Hospice. Now, I don't know if you know the theme. If you can figure it out, perhaps we're going to tell you a little bit later in the show, but I do have a fascinator on this evening, so perhaps that will give you a hint. Today has been one of those days. We started with sunshine with some cool conditions, and we still have a frost advisory in effect and through eastern Middlesex County, Huron and Perth, Oxford County, as well as eastern Elgin and Norfolk, stretching into Brant as well, where temperatures are expected to drop near the freezing mark tonight. Today, we started with the sun, as I mentioned, that cloud cover building this afternoon, and a few pop-up showers. There's been showers in the south end of the city, parts of the north end, but not all over. Temperatures are holding between 7 and 8 degrees. We do have some rainfall now that has developed just east of London, so in and around Norfolk County, approaching Haldimand and starting to encroach on the GTA. So as we head through the next couple of hours, still a slight risk for a few showers, but skies will go partly cloudy tonight. And I mentioned those temperatures dipping down into the low single digits. So if you have some tender plants, you might want to cover those up this evening or bring them in closer to your home. And if you've just planted a tree, perhaps you can protect that tree tonight as well. Coming up, I'll take you through the extended forecast. We'll tell you more about Handbags for Hospice and perhaps how you can support this wonderful event. I'll have all of that live on location coming up a little later in the show. Back to you.
Thanks, Julie. The inquest into a London police shooting death resumed today, hearing testimony from the officer who was choked by the mistaken suspect who was ultimately shot dead. Rita Ismail reports.
A coroner's inquest heard from London Police Constable Ryan Hendrick, one of 2 officers involved in an altercation that led to the death of 29-year-old Justin Barasa in October of 2021. During his testimony, Constable Hendrick told the jury that he and his partner, Constable Joshua Ryan, were attempting to stop Barasa as part of a suspected break-and-enter investigation along Richmond Row in downtown London. The officer said Barasa matched the description of who they were looking for in connection with the investigation. The officers attempted to stop him and question him in an alley off of Richmond Street, and that's when things took a turn. A physical altercation broke out. Constable Hendrick found himself in a rear naked chokehold by Barasa. He said the application of this choke was severe right from the onset, and the best way that I can describe it, it's as if someone is trying to pop my head off. That is how strong this choke is. The situation became grave. During his testimony on Wednesday, Constable Joshua Ryan said he believed he only had one option. He shot Barasa. Both officers testified that they attempted life-saving measures, including CPR. Barasa later died in hospital from a gunshot wound to his neck. Megan Daniel, counsel for Barasa's family, questioned Constable Hendrick. When you were testifying, you said you've been waiting for this 4.5 years, and in that time, sadly, there are no recommendations, nothing you can think of that could have prevented this situation? To which Constable Hendrick responded, from a police standpoint, I mean, no. My instinct is to say, don't try to kill the police. During the week-long inquest, the jury has heard that Barasa, a former tennis player and coach who suffered from mental health issues, had nothing to do with the suspected break-in. In the days after the shooting, 3 males would turn themselves into police, telling officers they were out in the area on the night in question with tools and a ladder, stealing street signs. The inquest resumes Thursday with Sergeant Daniel Thompson's testimony covering reintegration process of an officer who was involved in a critical police-led shooting. The inquest, which is slated to last until May 12th, will detail the circumstances of Barasa's death, and a jury may make recommendations to prevent similar deaths, but no findings of guilt will be made. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
London police say they've laid several charges against a man they say sexually assaulted 3 teenage girls. Police say this is 37-year-old Christian Hall Burgess. They say he arranged to have 2 girls come to his home last month where he gave them drugs and alcohol and then assaulted them. Police say they've also since identified a 3rd victim and they believe there may be others. According to police, Hall Burgess remains in custody. City officials in St. Thomas say they're waiting for a plan from their counterparts in Toronto when it comes to the future of the Green Lane landfill. As Jerry Dewan reports, it's expected to reach capacity in the next decade, but what happens after that is uncertain.
Garbage continues to pile up in the Green Lane landfill, with commuters on the 401 getting to see the dump in action. The privately owned landfill in Southwold Township was purchased by the City of Toronto in 2006.
They're going through updating their waste management strategy.
On Monday, St. Thomas Council received an update from staff after they consulted with Toronto officials regarding their approach to Green Lane. Well, the City of Toronto will ultimately make the call on how to move forward with the Green Lane landfill. St. Thomas has a lot at stake. As part of their agreement, St. Thomas and other Elgin County municipalities had access to the dump, but is expected to reach capacity by 2036. St. Thomas Mayor Joe Preston says St. Thomas is willing to give that process some time, but they need to monitor the situation.
There's decisions that we will be faced with 10 or more years from now.
Toronto has been focused on ways to extend the life of the landfill, with ideas ranging from more diversion to an energy from waste strategy involving incineration. Preston believes there's time for Toronto officials to work out their strategy.
Just going to kind of stand back and let this first phase happen, but we're glad we brought it to our attention, that we can look at it long before there's any chance of it being a huge project for us.
But Preston is also aware that permits and environmental assessments for new landfills or landfill expansions can be a challenge. He believes there's time to address those issues if needed.
This one will be well studied. We'll do it all the right way.
In the meantime, Preston says council will continue to ask for regular updates on the status of Green Lane. In Southwold, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
A developing story at Conestoga College in Kitchener. Provincial government officials say they've fired the school's board of governors, saying they discovered evidence of serious financial and governance mismanagement, citing egregious financial decisions about salaries, travel, and other expenses. The findings include a 55% salary increase for the college's former president in 2025. Government officials say he was also given a termination payment 83 times his monthly salary, despite the maximum permitted under law being 24 months. They also say they uncovered a $23,000 trip to Italy taken by 3 senior leaders, where the school paid for business class airfare, luxury accommodations, and premium transportation. A new provincially appointed supervisor has now been put in charge. Former St. Thomas Mayor Cliff Barwick has died. Barwick first served as mayor in 1977 and 78, then again from 2006 to 2010. His funeral service will take place May 11th. Barwick was 82. In the midst of chemotherapy treatments, current city councillor Elizabeth Pelosa filed her nomination papers today, seeking re-election in Ward 12. With more on her decision, here's Daryl Newcomb.
It's re-election time.
Elizabeth Pelosa filing her nomination papers, seeking a 3rd term as Ward 12 councillor.
I do have a track record of 8 years, and residents will either know if I've been accessible, if they feel I worked hard for them, if I've helped pick up some of the extra weight on council with the different agency boards and commissions, and if I've been a good advocate for them.
A ward boundary change has removed some of the area south of Highway 401 and centered it around White Oaks and the adjacent neighborhoods.
Why does the system not correct itself?
The author of 3 books books and creator of this wooden and electronic G-Wagon, 19-year-old Western University engineering student Rebel Zebian is the first candidate registered to challenge Pelosa.
Reasons why I'm going to be running: to create a new framework for the homeless people, to respect the taxpayers' tax, to ensure that everybody is working, everybody is providing for the economy.
Zebian will be pitching a plan to address homelessness and lessen the financial burden on property taxes.
You don't need to go to taxpayers and say, hey, we need to jack up the taxes so that we could suffice for this. Essentially, it's being more efficient with budget.
Some of the increases we saw I wasn't happy with either. I'll also note that it's a strong mayor's budget with the provincial powers that have been legislated. As budget chair, my job is to make sure legislatively follow the process, the public participation meetings.
Pelosa underwent breast cancer surgery late last year and is currently receiving chemotherapy. Both candidates acknowledge her health journey and say this about its impact on the election.
The campaign might look a little bit different, that you'll see some canvassers in different groups with me. If anything, I hope that me being so public about my journey and my story has helped show my strength to Londoners, that even while going through a difficult, challenging personal situation, I still try to find a way to uplift and help the community.
When I see somebody is providing service and support, I give them my uttermost respect.
The nomination period is open until August 21st. Londoners go to the polls October 26th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
All right, we are back live on location tonight at Handbags for Hospice. We are joined by Mason Van Meerbergen. Mason, tonight's a special night in support of St. Joseph's Hospice. Tell us about tonight's theme and what's going to happen here tonight.
So tonight we're at the Kentucky Derby. Each year we travel to a different part of the world for a different exciting event. Everyone dresses up, super fun, whatever they can. And we have a super exciting live auction with some great items. We have 10 this year. We also have silent auction items. We have bags, experiences, all different types of items people might be interested in. And all the money comes straight back to hospice to support the end of life and compassion care that we provide for those who may be going through palliative illnesses or families struggling in the community or people that have gone through a loss and just need some support.
And Mason, this is what tonight is all about. It's about community. It's about supporting people, Londoners who are in that end-of-life care situation. For folks watching at home, perhaps haven't had an experience with hospice, but they want to support. How can they find out more?
So they can go to our website. It's stjosephshospiceoflondon.ca, and they can donate there, or they can call us, and we're happy to take donations or answer any questions they may have over the phone.
And tonight, I'm sure it's just starting to fill up. Doors are opening, and the vibe in here, definitely Kentucky Derby. I love your fascinator. I have mine on, too. We are on a theme. The folks at home are seeing some visuals of St. Joseph's Hospice. What's it like in the home?
So we try to keep our suites really feeling like they're still at home. We want to keep the dignity at the end of life where you still are comfortable and cared for and not feeling like you're in a hospital setting. So we have personal kitchens they can cook at. Each room is apartment style, so it has their own bed, but it also has a living room and Murphy beds for family members or friends to stay over the night and stay. We have a living room, quiet rooms, we have kids' toys that they can play with, a nice patio to go out and kind of soak up that sun. We just really try to keep it home-like. We have musicians and choirs that come and perform music, and the vibes are just so warm and cozy, and we just try to keep life going still.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Will be a fun event. I'm excited. I'm staying on to MC. Coming up a little later in the show, we're going to talk about the weather forecast. It is Mother's Day weekend coming up, so I'll have all of that coming up for you in just a bit. I'll send things back to the newsroom.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, the increasingly risky business of booking flights. Manulife will no longer provide travel coverage for flight interruptions caused by jet fuel shortages. Plus, will this summer be the Snowbirds' swan song? Why the rising cost of maintenance could ground the Canadian icons. Welcome back. Federal officials say they're sending consular representatives overseas to connect with 4 Canadians who have been trapped on a cruise ship. Their vessel was locked down because of a rare virus outbreak, which has garnered international attention tracking the spread. With the latest, here's Adrian Gobriel.
One of our passengers sadly passed away last night.
Sunday, April 12th, this captain's address informs those on board the MV Hondias that a passenger has died, though there's no signs of an infectious disease on the ship.
It was due to natural causes, we believe.
Rohi Chenet recorded the captain speaking to those on board.
People were socializing with each other. We had our meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner all together in the dining room, sitting side by side.
3 people have died since the ship set sail from Argentina a month ago. 8 others are suspected to have contracted the virus. So far, the 4 Canadians who remain on board are showing no symptoms, though CTV News has now learned that 2 additional Canadians are among the more than 24 people from 12 different countries who left the ship 2 weeks ago unaware of the outbreak.
For these 2 individuals, they have been, from day one, monitored and assessed on a daily basis.
Confirmation that a Quebecer who was on the same flight as a passenger with hantavirus is also in isolation. In a social media post, Quebec's Minister of Health saying it doesn't seem like they were in close proximity and the risk of transmission is very low. There are minimal concerns for the wider public, according to the World Health Organization. Hantavirus is usually spread through the inhalation of contaminated rodent droppings and isn't easily transmitted between people.
Given the incubation period of the Andes virus, which can be up to 6 weeks, it's possible that more cases may be reported.
The MV Hondias cruise ship was anchored for 3 days near Cape Verde off the coast of West Africa. It's now located here in the North Atlantic as it travels towards Spain's Canary Islands, where it's expected to arrive this weekend with more than 140 people on board.
Consular support will be in place when the ship reaches port.
Those who remain on the ship have shared that health and safety protocols are now in place, though many have been left to wonder if more could have been done sooner. The World Health Organization clearly stating that this outbreak is different than the COVID-19 pandemic. This is limited to just a small number of people, and currently there's no national or global threat. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Air Canada officials have announced more service cutbacks in the midst of rising gas prices, the highest we've seen in 4 years. With more on what impact there will be for flyers, here's Andrew Johnson.
This will mean fewer options for some people who fly on a list of route reductions across multiple airlines that continues to grow. In Metro Vancouver, Alexandra Antonovich is feeling it. She visits her parents several times a year in Raleigh, North Carolina, and was delighted when Air Canada added a direct flight from YVR.
It just takes only 5 hours. Usually I would take connect flights, and that would be about double the time, even triple. With some strikes going on, it was once like a day and a half. So it's just convenient.
But that seasonal route will end early this summer. Air Canada is also ending seasonal routes early from Toronto to Charleston, North Carolina, and Sacramento, California, and from Montreal to Austin, Texas. The airline says the decision was made as a direct result of the price of jet fuel. WestJet also previously announced plans to slash its capacity by nearly 6% in June. Antonovich says it all adds up to another hit to the cost of living in 2026.
We travel around a lot in our car, and we see the gas prices going up every day. I'm sure that affects also the food prices and the flights and everything in our daily lives.
Air Canada says customers who have already booked are being contacted with alternate options or a refund. There is another spin-off effect if you buy insurance to protect you in the event of cancellations. Manulife says it is now classifying the jet fuel shortage as a known event. What that means is if you book travel cancellation or disruption insurance through Manulife after May 5th, problems related to this issue likely won't be covered. It might be a good idea to check with your insurance provider before making any new bookings. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
There's word on Parliament Hill. The federal government is considering pausing or even canceling the iconic Snowbirds program. It's reportedly connected to expenses costing taxpayers millions each year just to maintain the aging fleet of fighter jets. With more, here's Graham Richardson.
For decades, they've been a Canadian symbol of blue skies and hot summer days. But Conservatives are now warning 2026 will be the last time Canadians will be able to see the iconic Snowbirds for many years to come.
Upfront,
the Snowbirds are being canceled. This is the last season.
Tomey is the former mayor of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, home base for the Snowbirds. He says the schedule is normal for 2026, but after that, the planes will stay on the ground.
They do our nation proud. And we really need to get behind our Snowbirds. It's, you know, it's an SOS call. It's Save Our Snowbirds.
2 air shows confirmed to CTV they are not booked in 2027 and referred all questions back to the Snowbirds. When asked directly about the future of the program, Defence Minister David McGuinty's office refused all comment. One Liberal MP said cost is a factor.
At what cost? So, I mean, yeah, it's a Canadian institution. Would be sad to see it go, but I'm not sure how much it costs for the Snowbirds.
After our story published online, the minister said this in the House of Commons.
This member surely can't be suggesting he's going to put the pilots, the women and men of that fleet, in harm's way.
In 2021, the government committed $30 million to upgrade the fleet and keep it flying until 2030. It appears the Snowbirds won't make it that long.
This is like maple syrup. This is like, you know, ice cold Canadian beer. This is like, you know, gravy on our poutine.
So why not just replace the fleet altogether once and for all? Well, the cost to do that will be between $1 and $2 billion with all the other government priorities. Aerobatics in the air and a new Snowbird fleet may not be top of the list. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Rejoining Julie Atchison now live on location for us tonight for a look at the forecast. Julie, over to you.
Thanks so much. Conditions across our area today, quite cool and yes, once again, below normal, but some sunshine early in the day before the cloud cover moved back in. We have some sunshine where I'm standing right now, but still a few showers in the area. Our high today just 12 degrees. We should be at 17, so coming in below normal, and our low temperature +1, leading to, yes, another frost advisory that's in effect. Our sun setting this evening at 8:32. Temperature on the hour. The London Airport, 9 degrees, heading further north between 7 and 8. And I mentioned those temperatures dipping down tonight. So cool air once again holding across the Great Lakes. We are under this upper level trough, but surface high pressure. So where's the rain come from? Well, what happens is we get daytime heating and we have lots of instability with that cold air aloft. So it does generate these showers at the surface. They don't last too long. As soon as the sun sets, most of that precipitation fizzles out and we go back partly cloudy. Western Canada is starting to heat up. That's where the ridge is in place. So our atmosphere in terms of the upper levels out west is where we'll really see things heat up in the coming days, and it will stay quite cool over the Great Lakes. Temperatures overnight dipping down between -1 and +3. Again, partly cloudy conditions. We will wake up to lots of sunshine heading into tomorrow morning, to a mix of sun and cloud in the afternoon. But this instability holds. So we'll have these little pop-up showers lingering as we head into your Friday morning. We could see a shower before sunrise, but then we're back into sun. And then through the day, Friday, a mix of sun and cloud. Heading into Friday evening, we'll see a bit of cloud cover and just a chance of a shower. Saturday, a cold front comes in, and you can see the rain and the chance for thunderstorms associated with that front. It will be through by Saturday evening. You can see that band pushing towards the GTA. So your Friday forecast, winds out of the southwest. The forecast high, that's much better. We'll see the high coming in at around 15 degrees, southwesterly winds. So it will be milder for your Friday than it was today. Heading into Saturday, chance for showers, probability about a 40% chance, and we'll hit 17. For Mother's Day, back and forth with this forecast all week. So again, just unsettled. Until we see this trough exit out, we have the chance for showers. So 13 degrees, so it will be cool on Sunday. A mix of sun and cloud Monday into Tuesday. We'll hit 15 degrees with a chance of showers Wednesday. And Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud. Now, I think the greatest chance for rain over the weekend will be Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we could get through the weekend with just some spotty showers Saturday afternoon, and then that rain Saturday night, early Sunday, and then overcast Sunday afternoon. But daytime highs over the next few days and over the next 7 will average a bit below normal. Midwestern Ontario, there will be areas tonight that dip down to about -1. So expect to start the morning with some frosty conditions. 14 degrees with a passing shower in the afternoon, and then the chance for showers Saturday into Sunday. Now, I didn't mention there is the chance for a little bit of light rainfall as well this evening towards Essex County, Chatham-Kent, and Sarnia. You could pick up some showers through the evening before conditions start to quiet down a bit tonight, and we go partly cloudy. So I'm sure not the sunny, sun-filled weekend you're hoping for. However, we should get through with some dry time. Although temperatures will be cool, you need to keep your spring jackets handy. We're again live on location tonight at Oxford Dodge in support of Handbags for Hospice and St. Joseph's Hospice. That's a wrap from down here tonight. Things just starting to get underway, people filtering in, and definitely going to be a wonderful night. They even have the Kentucky Derby race on the screen behind us, so that's pretty cool. And Derby themed all around. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. Still ahead, the rising cost of car ownership increasing the appeal of hybrid options. Many gas stations across the province saw overnight drops, roughly 5 cents a litre. That brought Ontario's average price per litre down to about $1.91. And industry analysts say there could be another 7-cent per litre decrease coming tomorrow. New Stats Canada figures suggest the cost of owning a vehicle is now the third largest expense for Canadian households, behind shelter and food. And as Pat Foran reports, for anyone looking at purchasing a car in the near future, the price of gas is only part of the pressure.
Car shopping involves a lot of careful considerations: price, performance, safety, reliability, and depending on the price of gas, fuel economy.
This isn't the time to splurge and get that car that's bigger than what you need. Think about what you need on a day-to-day basis.
Due to tariffs, inflation, and other factors, owning a car is now more expensive than ever before.
Car ownership has skyrocketed over the past 4 to 5 years in every way. The price of cars, the cost of operating them.
According to a recent Rate Hub survey, the average expenses to own a car in Canada for a loan, interest, fuel, maintenance, parking, and insurance is now more than $1,400 a month. It may be no surprise there's currently less demand for larger luxury vehicles as consumers try to save money.
We're finding that more and more consumers now are gravitating towards the lower price cars, under $40,000. Many consumers would like to spend under $30,000 on a new car, but your options are very limited at that price point.
Car shoppers are also going for base models with fewer options and lower trim levels to keep costs down. But one segment that is doing very well is anything hybrid.
The good news is that there are hybrid versions of many cars out there, all shapes and sizes. And in Consumer Reports tests, we find that not only can they save you a ton of money on fuel, but they're also, in general, more fun to drive.
While hybrids may cost more up front, they often make up the difference quickly.
A hybrid could easily save you $1,000 a year in gas. And hybrids also have higher resale value. So you get that money back in the back end when you sell it or trade it in.
With high gas prices, there's also been a huge surge in interest in electric cars. Sales are up due in part to a new $5,000 federal rebate. Many manufacturers also have their own rebates to help bring the cost of EV ownership down. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index finished in negative territory, weighed down by losses in the energy sector. The TSX fell 125 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 314, the Nasdaq down 33. The Canadian dollar lost 0.05 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained more than $16 an ounce. Oil fell 27 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, getting behind the boycott, the latest numbers on Canadian booze buying habits and our anti-American attitudes. Officials at LHSC say they will soon issue a request for proposal to replace windows at University Hospital. This comes after the hospital filed a $40 million lawsuit against several companies, accusing them of breaching contract and negligence. The statement of claims says a botched replacement project at UH cost more than $19 million compared to the original $10 million bid. The claim has not been tested in court. LHSC officials say more than 1,300 windows need replacing, along with 2,600 individual glass units across the hospital. They also say there's no immediate safety concern with the existing windows. The years-long replacement process is expected to start early next year. City officials in Toronto laid out their public transit plans today for the thousands of people who will arrive for the FIFA World Cup, which begins in about a month's time. With more, here's Heather Wright.
A frequent contender for worst traffic in North America, the World Cup will put Toronto Transit to the test in ways the city has never seen. On June 12th, Canada opens its tournament against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Blue Jays will host the Yankees at Rogers Centre, and fans of both will pack downtown.
The city will be busy, but I think Toronto's busy. That's what comes with a big city.
Today, the heads of Metrolinx and the Toronto Transit Commission outlined some of the preparations underway as the city gets set for kickoff. They estimate they will see a surge of 44,000 additional transit riders on match days, adding more trains and buses to help accommodate the increase. They say there will not be a repeat of Game 7 of last fall's World Series, when service was not adequately extended, leaving thousands of fans stranded in the downtown core.
Having had that experience, Taylor Swift, the solar eclipse, all of that I think helps inform our ridership projections, which is really useful because it means that I think we're probably more accurate in understanding how people want to move through the region in a big event like this.
Canada is hosting this year's World Cup along with the United States and Mexico. 6 matches will be played in Toronto, 7 in Vancouver. Much of the action in Toronto will be in and around BMO Field, called Toronto Stadium, during the tournament. It's an area that sees big events regularly, and experts say it's vital to get transit right for both the people who live here and those visiting, many of whom will be getting a first impression of the city and country.
What you ideally want is for the transportation to be an afterthought, that it works, that it's seamless, that you don't have to think too hard about it, and then it just shows up and functions.
A big test for organizers and for this stadium comes on Saturday when Toronto FC hosts Inter Miami and soccer star Lionel Messi. It is the final event before FIFA takes control of this stadium on May 12th. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Welcome to this week's London List. I'm Rita Ismail. I'm joined by KP from Mornings on Virgin Radio. KP, special weekend. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Let's kick things off with Saturday. There are a couple of markets happening.
Yeah, back to back. So we've got one in the morning to mid-afternoon. This is at Purple Hill in Thorndale. This is a fantastic mama market. Everything is so unique, handmade, one of a kind. And again, actually proceeds go to Ronald McDonald House Charity. So it's a really fantastic cause.
It is a great cause. So you get something and you feel good about it too, right?
And you can treat yourself as a mom or treat the moms in your life. Actually a good like mama-daughter date too, to go
is a great idea.
Market hopping, because right after you go to that one, you can go to the one downtown London. This is at the Covent Garden Market, and that's the Made for Mama Market, and that happens 3 to 7. At admission, absolutely free, but again, a ton of vendors, all unique, awesome goodies for you and mom.
It should be a great time, and of course, if markets are not your thing, you can take mom to the Grand Theatre. An incredible production is on right now.
Oh man, I just saw this on the weekend and I am still riding that high. It's Come From Away. It is so good. Think like East Coast shanty music, a really powerful storyline, basically where the residents of Newfoundland welcomed in 7,000 people during 9/11. And it's just really incredible. But I'm still singing the songs. It's a really great performance. So mom will definitely love that.
It will be a great time. Definitely check it out. And let's switch gears to a car show.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Car show happening at the Western Fair. It's the JR Exhibition Center, and it's going to be such a great show for the car lover in your life. Maybe an early Father's Day present, or if mom's super into cars, you could also do that. It should be a great event for the whole family.
I love that so much. I know my son and my husband would really enjoy that, but it is Mother's Day, so maybe I'll tag along.
Okay, there you go.
And lastly, this is something that I absolutely love, circling back to Sunday and Mother's Day, pianos and brunch.
So it's dueling pianos at 100 Kellogg. I want to go to this. So you have 2 pianos. If you've never been to a dueling piano kind of concert or bar, they just like literally duel. They play and you eat brunch with mom. Like, what's not to love about that? So
literally everything I love.
Right. This is like all my favorite things. And so we'll see you there.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I know.
Love that.
If my husband's watching, there's an idea.
Yes. Okay. Love that. That starts at 11, by the way, and all the info you can find on 100 Kellogg's website.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, KP. That's it for this week's London List.
Our photograph of the day comes to us from Woodsley. Thank you so much, Amy, for sending this in. I love the contrast. Chance for patchy frost overnight in parts of southern Ontario as temperatures edge close to the freezing mark. Warming up Friday afternoon into the upper teens under a mix of sun and cloud. Risk of showers and unsettled over the weekend.
Iranian authorities say they're reviewing the latest American proposal aimed at ending the conflict, just as President Donald Trump threatens a new wave of bombings unless a deal is reached.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal. Yeah, please.
There are reports out of Washington indicating there's belief at the White House an agreement with Iran is near. Provisions reportedly include a moratorium on Iranian uranium enrichment, lifting U.S. sanctions on Iranian funds, and opening the Strait of Hormuz. However, there are conflicting reports out of Iran suggesting some of the proposals have been rejected, while others are still under review. The American Secretary of State visited the Vatican this morning, an attempt at easing tensions after President Trump issued repeated verbal attacks against the Pope. This was a closed-door meeting between Marco Rubio and the Pope. Officials with the U.S. State Department say they discussed efforts to achieve durable peace in the Middle East. Rubio is also expected to meet with the Italian Prime Minister tomorrow. New research shows many Canadians support a nationwide boycott of American liquor. Some provinces, like Ontario, have taken the step of actually removing U.S. bottles from shelves. And as Abigail Beeman reports, those actions seem to match Canadian sentiments.
Running a big softball tournament this weekend has Thomas Ray stocking up on Canadian coolers. A boycott of American liquor hasn't changed things for him.
I just stick to what's available and what's delicious. Mostly Niagara Falls stuff.
You're happy to support Canada.
Super happy to support Canada.
More than a year after provinces started pulling American booze from Canadian shelves and the U.S. made its irritation clear.
It is outrageous that Canada will not put U.S. spirits on the shelf. It is insulting.
It is.
And disrespectful.
New polling by Nanos for CTV News shows most Canadians maintain boycotting U.S.-made goods and travel to the U.S. is helpful to strengthening Canada's bargaining position. 53% believe it's helpful and 29% somewhat helpful. Not much changed when asked the same question in October.
I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that there hasn't really been significant progress in the trade discussions with the United States.
I don't go there. I have family there. Haven't visited in a hot second.
I won't spend any of my extra money on anything from the United States.
It gives us leverage. We should know. We can't give that up.
I think they should bring back American products, definitely. A good bourbon once in a while never hurt anyone.
The American liquor lobby would appreciate that last remark after seeing a 63 to 67% reduction of exports to Canada.
We've seen a reduction in jobs, and small craft distilleries in the United States are feeling that pressure. Some of them are starting to shut down.
But most provinces are sticking with their boycotts. Ontario's LCBO is one of the biggest liquor buyers in the world. 2 weeks ago, the Premier said the alcohol only goes back on the shelves when the U.S. removes their tariffs. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Saturdays, 8 a.m., that is the time to join me for Weekend Spotlight. This weekend is Mother's Day weekend, so we have a super special show for you, and actually super special for me, too, because I'm going to interview my mom, Marg Flick. She's 92, she's awesome, and has great war stories to share. And a couple of more guests will be joining me as well to interview their moms, some people you might recognize. Be sure to catch it Saturday, 8 a.m.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, an attention-grabbing canine in a community near Windsor. As Robert Lothian reports, she looks like a mini zebra, but there's also a message behind her stripes.
Like a sight out of an African safari, when Sheepadoodle Molly hits LaSalle roads, she's sure to catch looks.
I get a lot of funny looks. I get a lot of looks that are like, what is that?
From the mane to the short coat to her stripes, make no mistake, Molly's appearance is intentional.
So it was just a matter of getting a paintbrush and getting the dog dye.
Walking all across town, Molly is helping her mom, Lynn Shalhoub, train for the Detroit Free Press Half Marathon. More than just a new do, her stripes are for a cause near and dear to her family's heart.
We lost my son-in-law in October from nets, and he was diagnosed when he was 39, passed away when he was 40.
Nets, or a neuroendocrine tumor, is a rare form of cancer, often going undetected early on. It can sit quietly before becoming late stage.
So it doesn't come up very often, but the zebra, because of its rarity, was chosen as a symbol for nets.
After learning she couldn't take Molly on the half marathon, Shalhoub decided to dye her anyways. It wasn't long before town residents took notice.
Somebody posted yesterday on Facebook, this is kind of what started it. They posted this, I saw somebody walking a dog and that looked like a zebra, and if you're in this group, can you please post pictures of your dog?
Seeing an opportunity, Shalhoub shared her story online, aiming to raise more awareness about nets. Receiving strong support, she's encouraging residents to take pictures of Molly's sightings, and in return, she'll share more facts about nets, all in a bid to use her son-in-law Russell's story to help empower others.
Everybody is different, but if you are having symptoms of some kind of illness and you're not showing a positive test result, push to be examined for something that is rare.
In the meantime, for Molly and Lynn, it's back to work, training for the big day in October.
Molly, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to go for a walk?
Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.